Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we grab your sources, crack them open, and really try to figure out what's important.
Yeah, good to be here.
Today, we're plunging into a topic that's, well, maybe less glamorous than some, but incredibly practical. Essential, really.
Absolutely. Getting your personal and estate information organized.
Exactly. It's one of those things, isn't it?
Oh, totally. It's the ultimate task people put off. Like
Yeah.
right up there with cleaning the garage or sorting digital
Right.
photos.
Feels important, but maybe not urgent. Until, well,
Until it suddenly really is urgent.
yeah. And our source material today really gets into this. It looks at a specific product designed to solve this exact problem, something called the estate crate.
Mm-hmm.
We've been digging through the info, from their website mainly,
Yeah.
exploring what this organizer is, what it promises.
And crucially, why the sources argue it's so important to think about this stuff now, not later.
Right. And they kick things off by highlighting a fundamental gap, something missing from the usual way people plan.
Yeah, that really sets the stage for why a product like this even exists.
Okay, let's unpack this then. What's the core problem the estate crate sources are pointing to? What does standard planning miss?
Well, the central idea is that while having a legal will is, you know, absolutely vital,
Sure, everyone knows that.
right, but it's mostly focused on the distribution of assets, who gets what.
Okay.
But, as the sources point out, a will usually doesn't give you the practical day-to-day details you need to actually execute those wishes,
Uh,
or even just to manage someone's life if they become unable to do it themselves. It doesn't tell you where things are
yeah.
or how to get access.
So it's not the who gets the house part that's missing. It's the where are the keys or how do we pay the mortgage next month part, the roadmap.
Precisely. That's a good way to put it. And the sources use this phrase that really sticks with you to describe what happens when that practical info isn't there.
What's that?
They say you risk leaving behind a treasure hunt for your family, or your caregiver, or your executor.
A treasure hunt. Wow. That sounds
Yeah.
exhausting
Yeah.
and frustrating, especially for someone who's already dealing with, a really tough situation like incapacity or death.
Exactly. And think about what kind of treasures we mean. The sources imply it's, well, everything.
Everything, like what specifically?
Everything that makes up your life that isn't strictly in a legal doc.
Oh,
So bank account numbers, investment details, insurance policies, not just life, but home, auto, maybe disability.
okay.
Digital account logins, that's huge now,
Right.
where physical papers are stored, like deeds, titles, birth certificates, info on service providers, bills that need paying,
Yeah.
even details about pets, or instructions for digital things like social media or, where your family photos are online.
Wow. Okay, when you list it like that, you can totally see why it'd be a treasure hunt.
Mm-hmm.
You might know someone has, say, a savings account, but if you don't know which bank or the account number, imagine the phone calls, the paperwork.
Hours and hours, and it's not just finding things, it's proving you have the right to even ask about them.
Right. The sources really seem to hammer home that this lack of organization isn't just inconvenient. It adds massive stress, a huge burden.
During a time that's already incredibly tough emotionally,
Yeah.
that's the core problem this estate crate thing is trying to solve.
Okay, so what is this estate crate then, according to the sources? How does it propose to, tackle this huge task?
Well, the sources describe it as a comprehensive personal and estate organizer, and what jumps out immediately is its format.
How so?
In a world that's getting more and more digital, the estate crate is presented as mainly a physical system, guided workbooks, related materials.
Interesting. So something you actually hold, write in, put in a file, not another app or website.
That's right. The sources really highlight this physical, tangible aspect, and its purpose is twofold, basically.
Okay.
First, to simplify your life today. Get all your key info documented together in one place you can easily access.
Makes sense.
And second, to systematically prep your estate for what they call an unfortunate eventuality.
Unfortunate eventuality. Nice euphemism. For a crisis or, well, death.
Pretty much. So it's designed to be useful now and later.
Okay, so what's it actually like to use it? What's inside this workbook they mentioned?
The sources detail a step-by-step process. The heart of it is this big workbook, described as having over 124 guided, fillable pages.
Whoa, over 124 pages. That's pretty substantial. Sounds like they're really trying to cover all the bases.
That definitely seems to be the goal. They want to make sure nothing slips through the cracks.
So how is it organized?
It's structured into 9 main sections, covering the whole spread of someone's life,
Uh,
basically. Well, the obvious ones: residence and vacation properties, finances and wealth, vehicles and other assets,
okay, standard stuff.
but also things like family and friends, your network,
Hmm.
medical and personal info, which is critical, legal and tax stuff. And then there's a catch-all section called "and much more."
Huh. So it goes way beyond just listing your stuff. It makes you think about contacts, health details, things someone stepping in would desperately need, but yeah, wouldn't be in a will.
Exactly. The sources really emphasize this comprehensive approach. And within those 9 main sections, they say there are 42 unique, individualized guided topics.
42 topics. Okay, they really are breaking down that potential treasure hunt into smaller prompted steps, giving you the map points.
Seems like it. And here's a really critical design feature the sources highlight.
What's that?
Within every single section and topic, there's a dedicated space specifically designed for your executor or caregiver or family member to use.
Oh, interesting. So it's not just a data dump for you. It's built to be easily usable by someone else under pressure.
That's what it suggests, yeah.
Mhm.
It's structured to be navigable for that end user in a crisis. It's like a handover document, not just personal filing.
That feels like a key difference. So what do the sources claim are the big payoffs, the benefits of going through this, pretty extensive process?
The biggest claim, and they mention it a lot, is the time saved for your loved ones. The sources state their packages save families and executors hundreds of hours.
Hundreds of hours. Let's just pause on that for a second.
Right. It's a big number.
It is a big number.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not just about convenience, is it? Think what those hours actually mean.
Right.
It's time not spent sorting through piles of paper, making endless phone calls, guessing passwords, tracking down deeds, piecing together medical history.
All while likely grieving or managing a health crisis.
Yeah. So the sources are positioning this not just as an organizer, but as a way to give this huge gift, the gift of time and less burden, during a really awful period.
That's exactly the implication, I think. They frame those hundreds of hours saved as directly preventing those unanswered questions and avoiding that whole treasure hunt nightmare.
Right.
The workbook isn't just storage, it's presented as an invaluable resource.
Invaluable. And they suggest it has this dual benefit, right? It simplifies your life today.
Brings order to your own
Right.
information, makes it easier for you to manage things now.
And it prepares things for those who come after you.
Yes, the sources really emphasize that. The act of just compiling the information itself gives you immediate benefits. Less stress, easier access to your own stuff, a clearer view of your situation.
Yeah, I can see that.
It turns what might feel like a kind of morbid task into something that gives you more control now. Empowerment, really.
Okay, so we get the problem, the solution concept, the benefits.
Yeah.
The sources also break down different ways you can actually buy this estate crate system. Different packages.
That's right. They list 3 distinct levels, basically differentiated by how much supporting organizational stuff is included.
Good.
There's the LW, they say, that stands for lightweight. Then there's the standard package. And the HD for heavy duty. All prices are in Canadian dollars, by the way.
Got it. And the prices.
The LW is listed at $99.99 CAD. The standard is $124.99 CAD. And the HD package, the top one, is $159.99 CAD.
Okay, so they scale up. What do you actually get at each level? Is the workbook different?
No, the sources say all 3 packages include the core components. So the main estate crate workbook itself, the 124 plus pages, 9 sections, 42 topics, that executor space.
Okay, the core information guide is the same.
Right. Plus, they all come with the owner cover and instruction guide. And 2 sets of these custom visual aid labels for file folders, and a sticker to put on your filing cabinet or box so people know where the estate crate is.
Okay, so the basic LW package gives you the essential printed stuff, workbook, guidance, labels, and you sort out your own filing, like use your own folders or box.
That's exactly how the sources describe it. You bring your own storage.
Right.
Moving up to standard, you get everything in the LW. Plus, the sources say it includes the actual file folders and the hanging folders you need to organize the stuff from the workbook.
Ah, okay. So standard adds the folders. You still need a box or a drawer for them, though.
Correct. And then
Right.
the top tier, the HD.
Yeah.
The sources describe that one as the most complete. And they specifically say it's best for a first-time buyer.
Okay, why?
Because it includes everything in the standard workbook, guide, labels, sticker, file folders, hanging folders, plus it adds a full-size collapsible storage filing box with a lid.
Ah, the whole kit and caboodle. The box included.
Exactly, an all-in-one solution.
Do they say anything about the box itself? Is it just a cardboard box?
They give some details. It's described as sturdy, designed so the hanging folders fit perfectly. It has a lid that fits securely, handles to carry it, and even a little label window on the outside,
Hmm.
so you can clearly mark it. The idea seems to be a dedicated, convenient container for the whole system. Easy to store safely, easy for someone else to find.
That makes a lot of sense, actually. If you're starting from zero, the HD gives you everything you need right there.
Yeah,
But the other options are good if you maybe already have a filing cabinet or some decent storage boxes.
exactly. The package breakdown seems designed to fit different situations, depending on what people already have set up.
Okay, this all sounds incredibly practical. But let's be honest, it also sounds like a significant job to actually fill out 124 plus pages.
It's definitely an undertaking, yeah.
So let's bring it back to the listener directly. Given everything the sources say the problem, the solution, why should you, listening right now, care about tackling this task? Why do it now?
Well, like the sources emphasize, it's really not just about planning for some, distant, uncertain event in the future.
Okay.
The actual act of organizing this stuff has immediate benefits for your life today.
How so?
Think about the time you waste searching for documents or account details when you need them. For taxes, insurance stuff, just managing bills.
True. Happens all the time.
Having everything pulled together and accessible just reduces that friction in your own life. It gives you a much clearer picture of your own affairs, which can actually feel pretty empowering.
Yeah, I get that. Brings a sense of control, oversight.
Hmm.
Simplifies your own admin load right now.
Absolutely. And then there's the peace of mind factor. Knowing you've proactively done this, taken steps to prevent that awful treasure hunt for the people you care about, knowing you might save them those hundreds of hours of stress and searching during what would already be a terrible time, that provides a really profound sense of relief, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Both for their future and, honestly, for your own well-being today. The sources seem to position it less as end-of-life planning and more as an act of care for yourself and your family. That impacts your life quality right now.
So if we try and connect this to the bigger picture.
What's fascinating here, I think, is how the sources managed to reframe this task, something many people might, dread or keep putting off.
Totally.
They frame it as an opportunity. It's not just about avoiding a future mess. It's about gaining clarity, control, and simplicity in your life today.
That's a powerful shift in perspective.
It really changes it from being a chore for someday, maybe, into an investment. An investment in peace of mind and better organization right now. Yeah.
It really does. And it forces you to confront that uncomfortable point the sources raise. If a standard will just isn't enough, and it sounds like for the practical stuff it really isn't, then what exactly are those hidden complexities, those time-sucking tasks you might be unknowingly leaving behind for your loved ones?
Yeah.
And maybe the more immediate potent question for you to think about is this. If roles were reversed, if you suddenly had to step in tomorrow and manage someone else's entire life and estate,
Yeah.
what specific pieces of information, beyond the legal papers, would you most desperately need to find first?
Oof. Yeah. That's a really powerful thought to sit with.